So for, I think, young architects that are studying right now, I would give as advice, look around you in your class. Who are your friends? What are the capacities? What are they good in? And what are you less good in? And try to work with them and create teams in order to learn to work together. I think this is one of the most successful elements, I would say, of BC, is that we were starting with 4 co-founders, 4 completely different personality. If you would meet the other one, you would say, oh, okay. And we knew from each other what we could and what we could bring to BC. And that was one of the key success to start as a group. And now also we're not with 4 anymore. We are with 30, and everyone is, we try to be as horizontal as possible within the company and create space for people to put the input and find systems in order to make that work on management skills. So we see, I think, a lot of solutions need to be on management, on how to make people work together on an easy way in order to have the input of everyone and come to a greater solution. It's not anymore about what we're going to be doing, but how do we going to be doing it. No, it was a crazy experience to go to Burundi. I think we did it because we were super naive in the beginning. We thought this is an opportunity, to build. Imagine a young architect just graduated, get the opportunity to build a public building somewhere in the world. That's crazy, No, I think with the topics of decolonialism, that's something that might be seen as wrong, and I think certain aspects are definitely wrong. But I have to say, we were so naive. We went there and we learned so much. We thought that we would go there and then maybe even learn something about how to work with certain materials. But yeah, no, that we would teach. But then no, of course not. We learned so much from being there and from the locals, working with the resources around them, not by an ecological aspect, because Burundi is a country that didn't face industrialization, so there are not any emission of gas of that country, so they are not doing that because of ecology reasons, but just because of economic reasons. Because the people there, it's one of the countries where people earn less than $1 or €1 a day, so it's a very, very poor country, and so that's why people work with the resources that are around them. The resources that you find around you are earth, soil, it's woods, it's rocks, it's a certain type of fibers that you find around you, all materials that you can process yourself as a person and transform into materials. And so for us, we were there, super naive. We thought we go to this material shop where we can find materials. Then we saw that cement and steel was super expensive because it has to be imported from Tanzania or even further. So there was this, and we also, it's a project that we also did, also partly the fundraising. So we had not so much money. We had literally 20,000 euros in our pocket, cash, in order to do the building. And we saw that if we would do it with concrete or with fired bricks, it would be too expensive. We would not manage. And that's how we started to see how people build traditionally. And then we started to discover this fantastic material that is earth, where people just dig a hole, take the earth, put it in a wooden box and make a brick, let it dry in the sun, and actually build a house with it. It's just fantastic. But then, of course, you have a lot of those buildings that are falling through the rains. But then we discovered quickly, by looking a bit more in detail, that the reason was not because it was earth, but the reason was because there was no foundation. there was no good roof because they didn't have enough money to buy steel corrugated sheet to protect the walls. So we discovered that actually by putting some money on good detailing and protect the walls, that would be the right thing to do. So yeah, we discovered a lot of interesting materials, and we exchanged also a lot of knowledge. We learned a lot of knowledge from the locals to make bricks, to cut, for example, eucalyptus woods into beams, because you need beams, but actually when you need a beam in here, you would order it in the wood shop. There you have to choose a tree. But that was the first project that we were doing by ourselves, and it felt so normal, so human, so beautiful experience that we thought, okay, this we want to take back and do the same in Belgium. By going back in Belgium, we had this project in our mind, this approach of looking around, understanding the environment, the context, the people that could work, and then we thought, okay, how can we translate this into projects, knowing that the economical context is completely different. The resources is not so expensive; it's more the labor that's super expensive. So that's completely the reverse with Burundi. So we had to find another way. Also here, we learned so much about raw earth as building materials. We discovered that in Belgium and like a lot of Western countries, that could be a very interesting solution to the problem that we are facing now with the construction sector being one of the most polluting sector in the world, having a lot of gas emission through the not only the operation of the building but also the construction of the building. So we thought, okay, we have a solution there, but how to implement it, because you cannot buy the bricks or the materials, these earthen materials, these local materials in a shop. So we have to make them ourselves. And so for this, I think one of the first key projects that we had in Belgium, it was the construction of a bioregional class in Edegem, close to Antwerp. A public project also that was first tendered through a competition and then also bidding with contractors. And here, we thought, okay, we want to use the earth from the environment, and close by there was a quarry where we could actually get some clay. Work also with hempcrete, a very interesting insulation material. It's a mix of lime and hemp shivels that are the leftovers of the hemp plant, and by mixing them together you get an insulation material that it's not CO2 negative but CO2 positive, so it actually absorbs through the growing of the plant, it absorbs CO2. So we had a solution that could radically make a certain change on ecological level. But the problem was how to build that within the price, because you could not buy the materials on a cheap price. So then it was clear that we had to do it ourselves and to make it ourselves. I think we were really lucky by that project again, specifically because specific for that project, everyone was, we said, with the nose in the same direction. So we had the contractor, the architects, but also the clients willing the same. And it was the same in Burundi. We were all we knew what we were experimenting with. Everyone was aware about it, but everyone wanted to achieve the same goal, to have a nice ecological building that could be an example and that could be also bring people together. For the client, that was the municipality of Edegem, it was important that we would organize workshops. It would be important that people in the neighborhood could be invited and be part of in the construction. So for them, it was very, very interesting, and they were willing to take the risk with us. And so that was a very key, important moment, because, that's true. The materials that we were using, they are not certified. So they are following certain norms, but that are not Belgian, they are German. So that was the most important thing, I think, was to be having a building team that was all willing the same goal to experiment to make something new, something innovative, something better for the society. So after the completion of that project in Burundi and then in Edegem, close to Antwerp, where we were forced actually to be on the construction site in order to implement production of new materials that you could not buy on the market. Well, we started to do other projects for ourselves about other techniques and blocks, also rendered. And then at certain moments, other architects came to us and they said, that's really interesting. I also would like you to work more as a consultant in order to analyze and characterize the soil that is from my building site in order to also make materials. And so that's we started to do some consulting, I would say. And we did that for a few architects. But then we were selling, like, I would say, like a recipe, and then the contractor would have, because we could not be like always part of the production on site, the contractor would have to mix. And then we saw that there was something like that didn't work in the chain. And then we thought, we have to stop just selling recipes. We have to sell the material. But as an architect, you cannot do that. You can sell services, but you cannot sell products. And so that's how we thought, okay, we're going to start a new company, BC Materials, that would sell ready-to-use earthen products made of excavation soil from construction sites. And now it's already like 5 years ago that we started BC Materials. It's a cooperative enterprise, so the workers are also the shareholders of the company, and it's working well. So we continue with BC Materials to do this kind of consulting for the other architect. That's one of the activity. But then we produce ready-to-use building materials, and this time we are using then the earth coming from city excavation, because in big cities, so like Brussels, for example, you have 2 million tons of earth that have been excavated every year and has been seen as waste. And so that waste, it's actually no waste. There are very nice virgin soil. I think up to 20-30% is polluted. This one we don't use, but still 70% of 2 million. It's a lot of tons that you can actually revalorize and make unfired, low carbon building materials with it. So for the moment, with BC Materials, we have a machine, an hydraulic press, where you can press 8 tons a day with 2 people on a trailer. So you can hang it on your car and bring it everywhere you want. Okay, you need a bit of installation, you need a roof in order to produce, but you can bring it everywhere. This machine is fantastic because it's hyper-local, and you can really play on the locality and have materials that have a zero carbon footprint, because if you use electricity from sun with solar panel, you can really have a zero impact brick. So this is what we do, and we continue also to do what we call bespoke projects. So that means that we, if for example we had a project in France, in Arles, but we also had other project, for example in Burundi. Well, we're not going to bring, of course, the earth from Brussels to there. So we're going to analyze the earth from there, and then we're going to set up on the place a production specifically for that project. So that's what we actually do with BC Materials, and try to bring that fantastic material that is earth and fire earth towards a growing market of building, because we really believe that material has a great potential, but the threshold was this thing that I was saying before, that having everyone on the same page, the client, the contractor, and the architect, it's something quite difficult. For innovation, you need that, but what we want to do now with BCA materials and with this earth product, it's not to innovate anymore. We want to bring a materials that has a lot of potential to be affordable for everyone. So you have to put away all the fears that certain actors could have, and so that's why you have to bring that materials the same way that you have concrete or steel on the market. You have to bring it very close to the people. We are working on norms, for example. We are working on marketing strategies in order to bring into everyone the materials, and most importantly, we are working on industrialization of the materials in order to increase volumes and decrease the price to make it affordable for everyone. I was talking about that earth has this main property that it's abundant everywhere, but I think a second very interesting property that it has is that it makes sense when it's local. But from the moment you will transport it too far, then you will lose a lot of the great score on carbon footprint, because also when you make an earth brick or you make a rammed earth wall, it's quite heavy material. It has the same density, or approximately the same density as concrete, around 2,000 kilogram the cube meter. So it's heavy to transport and lower the carbon footprint. We are working now on life cycle analysis of our products, and we see that transport is a very, very big issue. So there is this logic, I think, if you want to put earth bricks, for example, on the market, to have it very local, because otherwise your CO2 score, your LCA score will be lower, and then on market strategies it will be not so interesting. On the other hand, I think you can also, earth has this potential to easily be integrated in existing processes of the industry in order to make a radical change of the industry that's now working with burning bricks, using tons of cement that it's burned on super high temperature, where you have also additives coming from a bit everywhere in the world, and come with a new solution where you can make a block that it's super affordable for everyone. And so what we are doing now, we are looking in order to make this material more affordable, because for the moment the problem that we have, like we did this project in Antwerp, we have in Brussels also a machine the same size as the one that we had in Antwerp that we were renting, but we were producing, I would say, 8 tons a day with 2 people, and so what makes actually the brick super expensive in labor, because it's a lot of craftsmanship. And that's where I think the industry become interesting, is that we saw that the industry, the existing industry, that it's the fired bricks industry or the concrete block industry, they have tools, they have factories where they can improve a lot these numbers. And what I think it's also interesting is that we can rent the facilities in order to bring our unfired earth materials to them, coming from excavation from cities, and using their facility in order to make bricks on a higher level. And for example, on this moment we are working with 2 companies, and they are producing around 150 tons, not a day, but per hour. So it's incredible what then the industry can help in order to increase the volumes and lower the price. But again, if you start to play with this logic of the industry, you will want to, because you have a system that you can produce a lot of blocks, you want to export them far, but that is no logic anymore. And that's where I think it's interesting to go towards a bit of in-between way, because for the moment the demand of earth blocks is not so high, and with these tools of using existing factories you can increase a lot the offer. we see that there is this potential of working like a few days, a month maybe, or a year, and then maybe later a week, in order to play with the demand and gradually go towards impact and change until the offer become high enough in order to build a factory that would provide earthen products around the factory. But I think there is no really much sense of exporting too far, because then you're losing your credibility on CO2 impact, and that's probably is going to be the most important advantage in order to propose your products next to another type of block. What I like the most also is going to the seaside and being together with the sea, and that it's or on a sailing boats or around the sea, and then all doing free diving also, and to be part of this underwater world. That's for me like one of the great places to be in order to put a bit this on the side and to put my mind on zero. Free diving is a fantastic sport, because then you don't have all the equipment that would help you to stay longer on the water. No, it's only you, one breath, and going into the deep and being with yourself and feeling actually what are the limits of what you can, pushing a bit the limits also, in order to go deep or to stay longer underwater, and then you see also that relaxation helps a lot to prepare yourself to make a certain performance that you want to do at that moment. Certain days you don't want to do performance, you just want to be in the water and not go deep or go far or long underwater, and that's helping me a lot also to relax and to help.